the missing frames of reality, why your mind fills them in. Your brain is lying to you, right now. In fact, it's constantly editing the world around you, snipping out the boring bits and filling in the gaps, kind of like a video editor trying to smooth over a few dropped frames. So that crystal clear reality you think you're seeing? Yeah, not so much. You're actually watching a movie directed by your own mind, a story it tells itself every single second. And I can prove it to you in about 10 seconds. Ready? Let's find a literal hole in your reality. On the screen, you'll see a plus sign and a dot. I want you to close your left eye and focus all your attention on that plus sign with your right eye. Now, slowly move your head closer to or further away from the screen. At a certain point, the dot is going to completely vanish. Gone. It hasn't moved, but in your reality, it's no longer there. What you just found is your physiological blind spot. It's a real physical hole in your vision where the optic nerve literally plugs into the back of your retina. Since there are no photoreceptor cells there, it's a spot of total blindness in each of your eyes. And yet, you've gone your whole life without ever noticing a gaping black hole in your vision. So, why? Because your brain can't stand a vacuum. It actively papers over that gap. It takes a quick sample of the surrounding area, in this case the white background, and just fills it in. Your brain isn't ignoring the hole, it's painting over it with a guess, a prediction of what it thinks should be there. This isn't a bug. It's our first major clue that you don't just see the world, you actively create it. Section 1. The cascade of evidence. Illusions as dropped frames. Okay, so if our brain is filling in a literal hole in our vision, what else is it doing without our permission? What other frames is it dropping and seamlessly editing? Let's start with a ghost in the machine. Take a look at the image on your screen. What do you see? Most people see a bright white triangle pointing up, sitting on top of 3 black circles and another triangle pointing down. The thing is, none of that is actually there. All that physically exists are 3 little black shapes that look like Pac-Man. The triangle you're seeing, which might even seem whiter than the background, is an illusion called the Kanisa triangle. Your brain is a storyteller, and it prefers a story that makes sense. The story of 3 random Pac-Man shapes just happening to point their mouths at each other? That's a little weird and unlikely. A much better story is that a solid object, a triangle, is simply blocking your view of 3 black circles. Your brain decides this is more probable, so it just generates the experience of a triangle for you. You don't just infer the shape, you literally see its edges. And here's the wild part. fMRI studies show that when you look at this illusion, the part of your brain that processes shapes, your primary visual cortex, lights up as if a real triangle were there. Your brain isn't just passively processing the light that hits your eyes. It's actively adding things to the scene based on what it expects to be there. This editing process isn't just about adding things. It's about taking them away, too. Consider an illusion called Troxler's fading. If you stare at a single point in the center of an image with static shapes around it, eventually, those shapes in your periphery will just fade away, replaced by the background color. Your brain decides that since those shapes aren't moving or changing, they're boring, unimportant data, so it literally stops rendering them. It treats them like dropped frames and fills the space with a simple prediction. More of the same. This brings us to a sensation I bet many of you have felt. Ever feel your phone vibrate only to pull it out and see absolutely nothing? That's called phantom vibration syndrome, and it's another perfect example of your brain filling in the blanks. When you're anticipating a text or a call, your brain is on high alert for a very specific signal. In that state, it can easily misinterpret random sensory noise, the rustle of your clothes, a tiny muscle twitch, as the very signal it's expecting to get. The exact same thing happens with sound. It's how you can hear your name called from across a loud, crowded room, or how you can understand a friend's mumbled sentence through a bad connection. Your brain takes the fragmented, incomplete audio it receives and fills in the rest based on context. You don't just hear. You're constantly making educated guesses about what you're hearing. So, which of these was most surprising to you? The vanishing dot, the ghost triangle, or the phantom phone buzz? Let me know in the comments. And if you've ever had a phantom vibration experience, definitely share that story. It's wild how common these little perceptual glitches really are. Section 2. The why. The predictive processing engine. So, our brains fill in blind spots, invent shapes, delete boring objects, and create phantom feelings. It kind of sounds like our brains are full of bugs, right? Unreliable, maybe even a little deceptive. But what if I told you this wasn't a bug, but the single most important feature of your consciousness? What if all this editing is the only way you could possibly function? This is the core idea behind predictive processing, which is the leading theory for how we experience, well, everything. Just imagine your brain for a second. It's locked inside the pitch-black total silence of your skull. It has no direct access to the outside world whatsoever. All it gets are streams of noisy, ambiguous electrical signals from your senses. To make any sense of this chaotic data, it can't just passively wait around to assemble the world piece by piece. That would be way too slow and inefficient. Instead, your brain acts as a prediction engine. It's constantly generating a model of the world, a running hypothesis of what's out there and what's about to happen next. This means your perception isn't built from the bottom up, from raw sensory data. It's generated from the top down, from your brain's own predictions. The information coming from your eyes and ears, that's not the main show. It's just the fact checker. Its only job is to confirm or deny the brain's predictions. Most of the time, the predictions are good enough, and reality feels smooth. But when there's a mismatch, when what the brain predicted doesn't line up with the signals it gets, it generates what's called a prediction error. That error signal is what your brain actually pays attention to. It's the brain's way of saying, "Whoa, that wasn't what I expected." And it uses that new information to update its model for the very next moment. This is why the world seems so stable, even though your eyes are constantly darting around. Your brain just predicts what it should see and mostly ignores the blurry mess of input it gets while your eyes are moving. Section 3. The big picture, the grand implication. So what's the big takeaway here? If your brain is a prediction machine building your world from the inside out, then the reality you experience isn't the real world. It's a controlled hallucination. This powerful idea, pushed forward by neuroscientists like Anil Seth, completely reframes what it means to be alive. We aren't passively observing some objective reality. We are actively generating our own reality through a constant dance between our brain's predictions and the world's sensory feedback. Your perception is a collaboration, and it goes even deeper than just shapes and sounds. This predictive process is also what creates your very sense of self. That feeling that you are a single, continuous I living inside your head, that's not a given. It's also a perception constructed by your brain, its best guess of what it's like to be you, based on a lifetime of memories and internal signals. This framework also helps us understand what might be happening when this predictive system goes wrong. In conditions like psychosis, for example, it's been suggested that the brain might struggle to properly weigh its own predictions against sensory reality. If the brain gives too much weight to its internal model and ignores the error signals from the outside world, that controlled hallucination can become uncontrolled. And this all comes back to memory. Your memories aren't perfect recordings of the past, like a video file on a computer. Every single time you remember something, you aren't playing it back. You are reconstructing it from scratch. Your brain uses what you know now, your current biases, and your expectations to fill in the missing frames of the past. This is why your memory of an event can be so radically different from a friend's. You're both running a different simulation, a reconstruction based on your own unique prediction machine. Conclusion. So that silent, invisible editing your brain does every single moment? It's not a flaw. The lies it tells you, the gaps it fills, the frames it drops, it's all part of a ridiculously efficient system for navigating a complex world. These illusions aren't just neat party tricks. They are windows into the machinery of your mind. They show us that the solid, stable world you think you're perceiving is actually a fragile, flexible, and deeply personal construction. You're not just a passenger looking out at some pre-made reality. You're the director, the editor, and the star of your own private movie. And the line between that film and the real world is far blurrier than you could ever imagine.